are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Mute my phone.
Okay, people are coming in. We'll give everybody just a couple minutes to get themselves situated. Hello.
Hello. It's dark here. I'm probably going to have my camera off and my microphone off most of the time. I have 2 yellow labs and they're quite rambunctious.
Totally understand. No problem.
Want to listen in?
Great. And I'll be sending out an email the next day or two with the recording of it also.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So recording of it and resource list for any like extra questions you might have. Okay.
Oh, okay, great. They're already starting. As soon as they hear a different voice.
Right, exactly. I had to kick
These
my
aren't
out of the room,
working.
so I understand.
I love anything biomagnetism.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it with talking about some of the main pairs that help with for heart health that I would apply if somebody came into me with that kind of consideration. And also an herbalist. So we'll talk just on a couple base herbs that are so beneficial. And then MacKenzie is going to close out the night with a beautiful yoga practice for us. I thought that'd be a nice way for all of us to kind of relax and decompress before bed.
And I won't get to do that tonight because my dogs would be all over me. But I will try it out another time since I'm getting the recording.
Perfect. Yeah. So I'm going to give everybody just a couple more minutes to come in before we get started. But hello to everyone who's here already. And I put in the chat too. There's a link for when MacKenzie does her heart opening practice. There's a link in there to a soundtrack that she recommended for the practice. So if you want to put that and play that on your own device while you're practicing, just put it out there for everybody.
Hi, hello, evening, or good evening, I don't know, but for me, it's evening.
Hi.
For you. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I can see the link. Can you send again because I joined a little late? I think so, because I can see.
The link, it's in the chat. So down at the bottom where it says chat, if you look over there, I sent it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Perfect. MacKenzie put it in there again for us too. Thank you. Just check. Hopefully in the confirmation email everybody got, I have the passcode for them. I was just checking to make sure I didn't get any last minute emails saying I can't get in. All right, everybody. So why don't we get started? I'm sure everyone will kind of filter in as it gets started and as the hour moves along. My name is Danielle. I'm a biomagnetic pair therapist and also an herbalist. So today I'm going to be talking to you, or tonight, a little bit about biomagnetism for heart health and some herbs that I particularly love working with. And then with us also tonight, let me see if I can do this. I have my dear friend, MacKenzie, who's going to be doing a yoga practice with us afterwards. MacKenzie is the founder of Pause Active, a brand dedicated to sustainability in activewear, getting people out and active in the world, and also animal rescue.
Yes. So yeah, I created Paws Active to help me with my dog rescue work in Antigua. And it's really kind of flourished into being able to help dogs in Los Angeles and Baltimore, and really be a great effort here in Antigua. We do puppy yoga as well, which is really fun. But today we won't be doing puppy yoga. Nice relaxing.
All right, perfect. So I'm going to start out the night. We thought it would be lovely to finish off the evening with yoga so that all of us can pay attention, and then we can just relax and enjoy ourselves for the rest of the evening afterwards. So I wanted to talk a little bit about biomagnetism. I know quite a few of the individuals here are familiar with it or very interested in biomagnetism. So just a brief synopsis of what it is. So biomagnetism is the use of magnets. These are a small pair that I have, a use of magnets that we place on the body to correct pH imbalances. Oh, and I should say, let me do this before we get started. Let me get the legal bit out. I forgot this. So first of all, this is an educational video. I am not a physician. MacKenzie is not a physician. All of the information provided is for information and education purposes. It is not intended to be a substitute for the advice provided by your healthcare provider. It is not intended to treat or diagnose or be used, and this is to be used at your own discretion. If you do have a serious health issue or heart issue, please contact a physician. That's not what we're here for today. What we want to be talking about is really preventative health, maintenance, and keeping the body in a really good, healthy balance so that it can flourish and function in the best way possible. So biomagnetism, we are using positive and negative magnets placed on the body in very specific locations to help balance out the pH of the body. That balancing allows homeostasis, or allows for the body to be in the best balance and function that it can be. So it's really getting us out of the way, like all the glitches and everything that we bring in, and the toxins and emotional stuff that comes in, all of that, pathogens, we're getting all of that out of the way so that our body can function to the best of its ability. So at its core, biomagnetism is a terrain therapy. By creating a healthier terrain, then illnesses aren't able to set up as well. So when it comes to heart health, we are looking at this really in a preventative manner and helping with blood flow, with circulation, with reducing the rouleau effect that can happen where our blood cells start sticking together. Biomagnetism is particularly good at that. For sure, this can be used. We've done it, some work with MacKenzie's dogs with heartworm. I've also worked on some clients that have come in that were humans with heartworms and worked on them with biomagnetism with great results. So you can certainly use it for that, but today we're mostly going to be talking about it from a preventative standpoint. So with that respect, let's talk about my top favorite pair for biomagnetism for heart health, and that is going to be carotid artery to carotid artery. Whenever we're placing magnets on ourselves, the black side of the magnet faces the skin on the right side of the body, and the red magnet faces the skin on the left. And this pair is what I recommend for anybody who themselves or has a family history of any sort of heart disease. And why that pair? When we're putting the magnets there, it's like magnetizing the water pipes of the body. It's such an easy access point. You're getting circulation so close to the arteries right there, very close to the heart. And when we're placing them there, it helps with great circulation to the brain and to the rest of the body. One of the best things that it does when we place that is it helps, like I said, minimize the rouleau effect, which when you look under like in a dark field microscopy, usually our red blood cells should be like flowing perfectly like little Cheerios through our arteries one at a time, but sometimes they can stack up and get stuck to each other. Sometimes that's referred to as sticky blood. And when that happens, obviously the red blood cells, there's going to be compromised functioning. They're not going to be working as well. So when we magnetize that there, we are reducing that. We're helping the blood flow properly and making it less sticky for going through all of the body. I've also found that pair to be very beneficial for individuals that have traumatic brain injuries, or if we're doing a lot of work on the brain, because you're encouraging and getting really good blood flow up to the brain. And speaking of brain health, the other one that's really great and is particularly, they've noticed, is effective for hypertension, so bringing down really high blood pressure, is placing the magnets here at the temples. Again, black on the right, red on the left, temple to temple there is a great pair placement for high blood pressure. And for if you're having any sort of brain fog, headaches, that kind of thing where it has to do with blood flow to the brain, that's a great pair. Again, if you know anybody who's had a stroke or traumatic brain injury, that's another one that I would recommend placing very shortly after the injury and as soon as you can, and every day to help encourage that proper blood flow. There's two more that fall into my favorite heart health pairs, and the next one is kidney to kidney. So kidneys are on the back. You place those magnets on the back at about elbow height on the back. And why the kidneys? Is the kidneys, a lot of times if somebody has hypertension, it is because of poor arterial flow in the renal arteries, some kind of stenosis there. Also the kidneys have a lot to do with our blood pressure, and they modulate all the washer volume in our body. So if that's off, that's going to throw our blood pressure all over the place. So magnets on the kidneys is great for the heart. And the last one, very specifically for the heart, is placing it on the aorta. This is a horizontal pair. And the aorta is just slightly the little divot here in the middle of your neck. That's your manubrium. Come down a smidge, and the aorta is just about dead center, aortic arch right there. And that's another great pair just for heart health in general. So the easiest one, though, anytime I work with anybody, if you personally have a history of heart disease, family has a history, please put those pairs on your carotid arteries at least weekly. It's pretty easy to stick on there. If you have a collared shirt, you can tape them on, or you can always like layer them. If you have a shirt by your neck, you can use two magnets and layer them on. They'll pinch and hold them in place. So before I move off from biomagnetism, is there anybody who has a question about biomagnetism for the heart, or any questions that I can field for that?
I'm learning about magnetism. I'm so interested because my husband has a high blood pressure and high cholesterol. And yeah, I'm very curious about because my friend is teaching everyone. I'm so curious, and she talked to me about that. Yeah. Okay. Learning a lot. I'm so interested.
So the best like that's fantastic that you're learning and you want to use it on your family. That's one of the reasons I love biomagnetism, because I tell everybody, once you have some knowledge and magnets, you have free medicine for the rest of your life. You know, like you have a tool that you can use on yourself, your family members, friends, animals. You can use it on everybody. You just need to have that little bit of knowledge and the magnets themselves. So for sure with your husband, make sure you're putting that on his carotid arteries. So right where you can feel your pulse, you know, when you're checking it when you work out, that's where I want you to put those magnets on him. At least once a week. You can do it more often. You can do it daily. There's no such thing as kind of over magnetizing. So if he's comfortable with that and open to it, that's something that you can incorporate on a regular basis.
Okay, thank you so much. I need to take some courses, I think so, yes.
Yeah, that'll be perfect. The kidney pair in the back would also be really good for him to help making sure that the kidneys have his like electrolyte balance proper, also if that's contributing to some of his low blood pressure. You said high cholesterol and low blood pressure.
Both. Yeah.
So make sure you work on that with the kidneys also.
FH is a familiar genetic problem with a high cholesterol because he has 300 up.
Okay. So a lot of inflammation. in the system also, that the cholesterol is always an indication too of inflammation. So placing the magnet, helping with the blood flow and reducing the inflammation around the heart in the arteries is just going to be overall beneficial. Any other questions?
Could you just spell this Rouleau effect or whatever you called it for sticky blood?
Rouleau, R-O-U, I'm a terrible speller. It's like rouleau, but French. It's R-O-U-L-E-X, I believe. Rouleau effect. Let me look it up.
And that is partially, that is connected with sticky blood, you said.
Some people, yeah. I mean, that's like a colloquial term for it, is that people look at it and say it's sticky blood because it's the red blood cells sticking together and not flowing as freely as they need to. So that's one of the main ways that biomagnetism helps outside of a pH. And like looking at it from a pathogenic standpoint, is that it just improves blood flow. And if the blood is flowing better, it's going to just get all the things that need to get to all the places more efficiently.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Otherwise, I'm going to move on just for a couple minutes onto herbalism, because I have found that working with plants and plant medicine works really beautifully with biomagnetism and combining them. And so, Sarah, for your husband, this would probably be something to for sure look into. And the first plant I want to talk about is hawthorn. So hawthorn berries, and those are trees, and they grow pretty much everywhere. And in every culture that they grow in, they've all been used the same, and they've all been used as heart medicine. Hawthorn is one of the few plants that's actually considered curative, and it's curative for pretty much all heart issues. And it's a beautifully intelligent plant because it can either tone things up or relax them. It just has this innate knowledge to it that knows what your body needs. So it's very good at reducing high cholesterol and reducing that inflammation. And it can help tonify the vessels of your bloodstream. So your arteries and the veins, it helps tonify them. So it helps regulate the blood pressure. It's also really brilliant at regenerating collagen. So that's one of the main reasons it works with the capillaries. So the very, very, very small arteries that we have are capillaries. It strengthens the walls of those by promoting collagen production and keeping the collagen from breaking down. But for most of us ladies, we also know that collagen is really important for good skin and wrinkles and having glowing skin. So hawthorn is just a great plant. It has a lot of bioflavonoids in it. So it's very anti-inflammatory. And that's why it works on all of those levels. So if you know somebody that bruises easily, they bump into anything, or, they get squeezed too hard, they have a bruise, this is a beautiful plant for them to work with because it will strengthen the walls of the arteries. However, if you have high blood pressure, it seems to know how to strengthen the arteries that are weak, the vessels that are weak, and relax the ones that are too tight. So it just finds that nice medium. And it's in the rose family. So they're trees, they look like large rose hips or small crab apples, somewhere in there. So they're a plant that walks that line of being food also. So it's not like you can take too much hawthorn, and it is something that you can take on a regular basis. Because of how effective it is with heart health, I recommend it for most people over the age of 45, particularly men. If you have a family history of heart disease or heart disease yourself, it is a good plant to work with. The other thing to keep in mind, well, I'll talk about this after I bring up the next one, which is garlic. And everybody knows garlic. And it is one of the most popular herbs and supplements that are out there that people buy. It's all sorts of clinical studies showing that it reduces high blood pressure. It helps with diabetes. It brings down inflammation. I love this. In Ayurveda, they consider garlic the slayer of monsters. So I just think that's really fun. So think of big things in our life that we are struggling with. So like heart disease, inflammation, just being sick in general. Garlic is phenomenal for that. Roman soldiers used to carry it with them into battle as a form of protection. So I just enjoy thinking about that plant. It's something that a lot of us, we use so often and we don't think of it in a medicinal standpoint. So bringing garlic in however you can is great. Not everybody can tolerate raw garlic or a lot of garlic. They can find it a little bit irritating. So garlic powder or a fermented garlic or a garlic and honey, those are other ways to bring it in and still have those benefits without it being too irritating. And this is what I want to bring up. So plants themselves have energetic properties to them, right? They can be drying or cooling, moistening, hot or cold. And they have other properties, but those. So I don't know if anybody here has experienced this, but some people, when they eat garlic, it's a little bit inflammatory for them, like it irritates their bladder or it creates gastric upset. And a lot of times that can be because garlic is actually a warming herb. So overall, it warms your constitution. So if you are somebody who runs cold, garlic might be better for you because it's going to warm the system up. But if you already are somebody who runs hot, you might notice some of those issues with it. So speak to an herbalist or somebody else to help find another plant that you can incorporate other than garlic. Hawthorn's on the other end of that. Hawthorn is constitutionally cooling. Mildly cooling, we would consider it first degree. So mildly cooling, I wouldn't say if you started taking a lot of hawthorn that you're suddenly going to be like, ooh, I'm cold all the time. But for someone who is inflamed and runs hot, that's a more appropriate herb for them to help with their heart. There's a question over here I see about hawthorn berry in tea. You can make it as a tea. Hawthorn berries, generally when you buy them in bulk, unless you're harvesting and foraging them in the wild, you get them dried. So they're actually quite hard. You would need to make it more as a decoction. So you actually would simmer it for a while and it has a quite lovely taste. Other ways to take hawthorn would be as a tincture where it's been tinctured using the fresh plant. So that is an extraction of the plant material and alcohol. If you don't partake of alcohol, you can find that sometimes in vinegars that's used to extract it. That's considered an oxymel, the vinegar and honey. You can grind up hawthorn berries and add them to honey and make it as like a spread. Those are mostly the berries. If you're working with the flower and the leaf, that actually has more of an effect on the emotional heart. It's a really beautiful plant. So the berry helps with the physical heart, and the leaf and the flower works more on the emotional, energetic heart. So it's those who are brokenhearted, who need to be their heart lifted. It also is a very good plant if you feel anxiety, if you're anxious, but your anxiety settles in your heart. That's a lovely plant to help address that type of anxious feelings because of its affinity for the heart. So yes, you can do it as a tea, but you have to kind of simmer it a very long time unless you're using fresh plants. And I'm going to be sending out an email afterwards with this recorded. And in there I have a recipe for hawthorn berry syrup, which is lovely, and a garlic honey in there. So 2 fun ways to add those into your regular diets. Because hawthorn is like, it's like a food. The more you consume it, the better it's going to be. And both of those, it's long-term use where you're going to really start seeing a shift. Any questions that are coming to mind about herbalism and heart health, particularly with hawthorn or garlic?
Where can you find the hawthorn berries? Do you order them online or?
You can order them online, yeah, or there's maybe like a local herbalist, a lot of health food stores, depending on where you are in the States, and a lot of health food stores will have hawthorn berry. Mountain Rose Herbs is a great supplier of dried hawthorn. I make a lot of, I'll send it in the email also, I make a really beautiful hawthorn berry tincture that's extracted at a 1-to-1 ratio. So very, very, the highest extraction rate really that you can get. So that's available, but you can get hawthorn most places. So that you would buy, like if you were buying tinctures from somebody, Herb Farm is another supplier. But if you want to just buy the whole berries, you could get those dried from Mountain Rose Herbs. They're my favorite like bulk supplier in the US. Unless you decide to go forage them, which they're everywhere. Hawthorn trees are very cool. They lived a couple hundred years. And there's a lot of like mythology around them in Europe. Apparently the wee folk like to live in hawthorn trees, so you can't cut a hawthorn tree down. So sometimes if you're in the UK or other parts of Europe, like the road will go around a hawthorn tree because everybody's superstitious to cut it down. Any other questions I can answer either about biomagnetism or herbalism? No? Okay. Lovely, guys. Thank you for listening to the two things that I love and love bringing them into just improve the health of everyone. So what I'm going to do is now hand this over to MacKenzie, and she is going to guide us through our heart opening practice.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to come down to the floor, to the mat. I can't really see anyone, so I can't tell who's following along. I just want to make sure that people are actually doing it. I know some of us aren't.
I'm going to sit on the floor. You just can't see me.
So let's come down to the floor. I'm just going to start. Take your time to get there. You're going to need either a rolled towel or a, let me turn my light up a little bit here. So you'll need something like a rolled towel or a bolster or a rolled yoga mat, because we will be coming into a really nice supported fish pose that opens up the chest and the heart. So you'll need something like this. You also, if you have yoga blocks, you can use those as well. So yeah, let's see. Cool. Okay. I can only see like one or two of you, so I can't really see what you guys are doing. So I'm just going to teach it. I'll give modifications. I'll talk a lot, not too much. Let's go ahead and begin lying down. So go ahead and just lie down on your back. Make yourself comfortable. And we're going to take this time just to tune in and let go of the day so far and to let go of whatever is to come for the rest of your day. So let's lie back, make yourself comfortable. Bring your feet out to the edges of your mat and have your toes just fall open to the sides. And as you lie back, we have the palms facing up to the ceiling. We have the shoulders down far from the ears. And we just start to tune into this moment. You can close your eyes. If you have started the playlist, or if you haven't, go ahead and start it now. It's just a nice frequency for the heart chakra. And this practice today is going to be focusing on the heart chakra. So we have this energy of love for yourself, for others, compassion, joy for life. And this chakra is associated with the air element. And I really like to envision the heart energy as air, as the air element, because air is within us and it's all around us. So as you are flowing through this slow flow, just think about breathing in love for yourself, breathing out love for others. So as we settle in, and I'm going to show you, so if you are a visual learner, you can always look up here. As we start, our eyes are closed, forehead relaxed, jaw relaxed, feet relaxed, hands relaxed. Just letting go of anything you are holding on to in this moment. And take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through your mouth. Slide your legs together to touch, centered within your body, centered on your mat. And then reach your arms up to the ceiling and reach them back behind you so that your arms are in line with your shoulders and the hands fall down back behind you. That may mean they need to be a little bit wider, and that's okay too. Full body stretch. So start to point through your toes, point through your fingers, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and circle your ankles and wrists, and just start to move a little bit of energy that may have been stagnant there, especially from sitting for a few minutes there. And then bend your knees and hug them into your chest so you can hold over your shins or at the backs of your thighs. And we'll feel the low back flatten into the mat. And we don't need to be in a deep back bend or a heart opening stretch to have this energy flowing at the heart center. So have the chest open, have the shoulders relaxed, and just gently rock from side to side. Start to bring a little bit of pressure in a comfortable way, a massaging way onto the low back. Just waking up that area. Taking a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And then come back to stillness, come back to center. And we'll hug the left knee in, straighten the right leg long on the mat. So left knee is into the chest. We can interlace fingers over the shin or at the back of the thigh. And the right leg is long and relaxed on the mat. This is a yin style posture. So we're not flexing or creating a super deep stretch. We are just letting that knee fall in, maybe a little bit deeper, nothing forced. Always listening to your body. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Right knee in to chest. And we switch sides. Left leg lengthens long. And we hug the right knee in. We're not focused on flexing, pointing, or really doing anything here, but letting gravity help you bring the knee in toward the chest. One more deep breath in. And full breath out. Let's hug both knees into the chest and find that gentle rock from side to side again. We're going to roll all the way to the left side and press ourselves up gently with the right hand. And we'll find a comfortable seat now. So if you have a pillow or you'd prefer to sit up on a block, whatever it is, I want you to find a comfortable seat. I like to sit cross-legged. Some people will prefer to have their legs long or even knees in toward the chest. That's fine too. Whatever it is, sit up on your sit bones and slightly tilt the pelvis forward. So we have this opening in the front of the body. And we'll place our hands to the thighs, to the knees, and start to roll the shoulders up to the ears and then roll them down the back. Just do this a couple of times on your own. When we're feeling tense, anxious, heartbroken, any of those emotions, we start to get tight around the chest, tight around the heart. So we're going to work on all of these spaces. So let's start with the left arm. We're starting with the left side for everything because this is the more of the feminine side, this creativity, this flow. The lunar side where we have the right side is our solar side. So let's start with the left arm, reach it up, and then follow the arm as you turn to your left and reach it all the way back, stretching across the chest, stretching across the shoulder, and then slide it across the floor and lift it back up again. Start to open and turn. And we'll start to incorporate the breath as well. So let's inhale, lift up, turn, and reach. And let it flow. One more time. Breathe in, lift up, and open. And we feel all of these muscles start to stretch across the rib cage. And we move to the right side. So we lift up in front of us, turn right, circle the arm around, and let it flow back. Breathe in and breathe out. Continue this at your pace. Deep breaths in and full breaths out. One more time around. And release. Come back to center and just give your shoulders a little shake here. A lot of times in yoga, we start to become a kind of rigid because we're looking for the exact thing that we need to do next. And we just kind of want to have some flowing energy in this space. So let's lead with the elbows, reach the elbows out wide, pull them down the back, lift them up, let them guide the movement of the arms. One more time, reaching and then lifting the arms overhead, straight up above you. Let's take the right hand down to the floor and lift up long through the left side. So we're creating all of this space through the side of the rib cage. And once you're here, I want you to start spiraling the heart open toward the ceiling. And breathe into this space. We think of the heart being at the front of the body, at the chest, but we also have the back of the heart. So let's start to turn down towards the floor. And keep reaching through that left arm so you're creating space in the back of the shoulder blade and the back of the heart. Inhale, lift open again. And exhale, start to just close and turn toward the floor. And back to center. And shake out the arm, find some gentle movement there. We'll do the right side now. So inhale, right arm lifts. We reach. And we just enjoy this stretch through the side. The left fingertips are down. Maybe we look up toward the right arm. And breathe in. And then we start to spiral open, looking up, opening up to the ceiling above you. And on an exhale, while we're still reaching, returning the chest down toward the earth. Lifting back open, breath in. And breath out, turning down, really reaching. And it may even start to feel like your muscles are working here more than just stretching, and that's fine too. Breathe in, open up. And breathe out one more time, turn down. Release the arm and come back into center. We're moving now into a tabletop pose, and you'll want to make sure your knees are comfortable. So if you do need some cushion for under your knees, go ahead and find that. Maybe just a towel for under your knees. But we'll have the knees under the hips here, the wrists under the shoulders, and we call this tabletop pose. We'll look down at our elbows and just make sure we're not hyperextending and rolling the elbows forward like this. We have a micro bend and we press into the hands evenly. We're flowing, getting some energy moving through the spine from the root chakra to the heart chakra to the crown chakra. We start to tilt the pelvis forward and lift the chin. This is our breath in. And then we round the back as we exhale. Try not to rush this. Take full, deep breaths. Belly sinks down on the inhale. And we round on the exhale. One more time, breath in. And breath out. Return to a neutral spine. And we're going to come down to the forearms here. So once we're down to the forearms, we're going to slide the arms forward and start to sink the heart down toward the mat. And you can place your forehead down, or you can have your chin on the mat. And we usually call this puppy dog pose. But we have this really nice opening in the chest. And if the chin is lifted, if the chin is resting on the mat, we also have this opening through the throat chakra as well. Your gaze can be forward between the thumbs or your forehead's down with your eyes closed. Now, we're going to hold this as long as you're comfortable here. You can hold this. If you ever feel like you need to come out of it, you can. But we're going to be here for 6 deep breaths. So there are deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And with these deep breaths, we're going to have just a gentle affirmation for ourselves. And we're going to have the affirmation of, I choose to love my life and myself. So as we have the heart open here, just repeating that mantra, that affirmation to yourself. I choose to love my life and myself. I choose to love my life and myself. One more repetition in the mind's eye of this affirmation, and maybe you even say it out loud. We come back to the forearms, back to tabletop pose. And we bring the big toes together to touch as we widen the heels, and we'll sit the hips back between the heels. If that's not comfortable for you, sometimes it's nice to place that rolled blanket or a pillow under the hips over the calf muscles. So finding child's pose, we rest the forehead down to the mat. And child's pose is a really nice way to open up the back of the heart here. So here we'll close the eyes, we'll deepen the breath again. And the thing I really love about yoga is that we can use it in any way that we need in the moment. So if you feel like you need to find a little bit of movement in the arms and move them to your side, or reach the arms back by your legs toward your toes, you can start to find these just gentle movements that start to feel right in your body. I do encourage you, maybe you walk your hands to one side and then the other, with no rush to be anywhere but here. We'll take 3 deep breaths. If you found a little bit of movement, even out both sides. As you're ready to inhale, rise back up to tabletop pose. We're coming into a pose that we call thread the needle. It's really nice at opening up the back of the heart space, but also twisting and moving through the spine. So let's lift the left arm up first. Lift the left arm, stretch and open through the left side of the body. And then thread through under the right arm. Come gently down onto your left shoulder. Bring your left ear down to your mat and press into your right hand to deepen the stretch in the back of the left shoulder blade. As we gently draw the right hip back to deepen the stretch and twist. We want that left arm to be comfortable. We can use the right hand to deepen the stretch and twist a little deeper. We'll stay here for just another breath. And we inhale to lift back up. So left arm reaches to the ceiling. Now this left arm is going to reach across toward the right side of the mat. So we feel all of this openness through the left side. And we return to tabletop pose. Right side now. So inhale right. Stretch through that right side. Thread through under the left arm. Come down gently onto the right shoulder. Use your left hand to twist at the navel. And you're drawing the left hip back to stay in line with the right hip. We'll be here for a few breaths. So just enjoy. A deep breath in. Full breath out. Press into left hand and reach the right arm up high. Reach it across the left side and bring it down to the mat. Good. Let's come to a seat now. And we're going to set ourselves up for our really deep heart opening stretch. But we're not going there quite yet. So let's just set ourselves up so that we'll be ready. I'm using a bolster. If you have a rolled towel, you'll set it up the same way. So just have it long behind you, and we'll go there in just a moment. But for now, we're going to straighten the legs and sit up tall. Raise your arms up to the ceiling. Reach forward to where your wall meets your ceiling. And then reach forward to the wall. Reach forward down toward your feet. And we don't have to reach the feet, that's okay. And then you can start to just fold and relax here. We lengthen the spine, flatten the back, and rise up. So with this, it just depends on what you're using, but we want the chest to be open. So since this is long, it can come all the way to my low back. You may find that yours is just going to be behind your rib cage or your shoulders. And we're going to, I like to recommend bending the knees. We're coming down onto the rolled mat, the rolled blanket, the bolster, knees bent, tailbone tucked under so we're not in this deep low back bend. And then we lower the head down to whatever is there to support you. And we reach the arms out wide. Since we have all of this space for the chest to open and the arms to reach out, we get this deep stretch across the chest. We want to make sure we're comfortable. So please make sure you are. Can't see you guys, so I can't come around and actually help adjust you. But the palms are facing up. The heart is open and soft. And legs can be bent like this. Legs can be straight. Or we can even bring the soles of the feet together and open the knees out to make a diamond shape with the legs. So just start to find your comfort here. This is my favorite posture. Close your eyes and settle into this space. And we're going to go through a short list of heart chakra affirmations. It's just like a little journey for you as you settle in deeper to this posture. So eyes are closed, jaw is relaxed. Tension fades away from the neck, chest, and shoulders. And we take a deep breath in through the nose and an audible exhale through the mouth. Release all of that is being held here in the heart and the throat. Inhale deeply through the nose. Go one more time. Just sit in that stillness for a moment. And you can repeat these affirmations to yourself aloud, or you can repeat them in your mind's eye. I let go of expectations for myself and for others. I direct love to myself and to others. I forgive myself for my mistakes. And I choose to grow from them. I allow myself to be exactly who I am. I allow myself to love others for exactly who they are. I attract positive and healthy relationships. I am open to the love all around me. Everywhere around me, I see love. I choose to be in love with my life. I see love. I hear love. I speak love. I am love. I am love. I am love. Take a deep breath in. Audible exhale. Wiggle toes, wiggle fingers. And gently bend your knees so the feet are flat if you moved them. And roll off to your left side. Remove your rolled mat or your bolster or whatever you used. And roll back onto your back for a moment in the way that we began our practice. The way that we began our practice, we will finish our practice. Eyes closed. Settling into this stillness. Releasing any judgments you're holding on to, any expectations. And loving yourself exactly as you are. This will be a short Shavasana. But for these next few moments, rest here. Allow yourself to simply just be. Shift awareness into the sounds around you. Into noticing where your body meets your mat. And start to move the thumbs across the fingertips. Awaken your fingers, toes, ankles, and wrists. And reach your arms back overhead as if you just woke up this morning, a full body stretch. We'll bend knees and roll over to the left side. If you have anything going on that side, it's fine to roll to your right. And we find a comfortable fetal pose. I like to make a little pillow for my head with my hands. This transition from Shavasana into fetal pose symbolizes the beginning of something new. And we can leave with an intention from our practice. The intention of choosing to love your life, to enjoy your life, and to notice the little things in your life that make it so special. So let's all take a deep breath in together. Let that breath go. And press yourself up gently to Sukhasana, a comfortable seat. And we'll come back to close out together. Thank you for dedicating this time to your practice, to learning, sharing your energy with this group. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you guys so very much for being here. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to Danielle. going to stay on here for a few more minutes if you have any questions for me, or if you have any for Danielle as well, if anything came up during that practice. Look out for an email with a few more resources. And if you're interested in learning more about our work that we do with wellness events and dog rescue, please feel free to reach out to us as well. I'd be so happy to talk to you guys. So thank you again and enjoy your evening.
Thank you,
Thank you.
MacKenzie. That was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you so much. So beautiful.
That was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, I'm ready for bed now. Thank you again, MacKenzie. That was really beautiful. My heart is feeling very open and juicy right now. So let's just, like she said, we're going to be sending out an email with this full recording so you can practice over and over as often as you like that beautiful heart opener that MacKenzie shared with us. And we'll have email links or to her website for pause. You can learn all about the wellness activities and events that they have, her amazing activewear. If you wish to make a donation for the practice tonight, we'll have a link on there. You can donate and it'll all go to rescues. The email will also have plenty of information on biomagnetism, how to get a hold of me if you would like to, where to purchase biomagnetism magnets, where to learn how to do biomagnetism at home. And some fun herbal resources also. So before we close out for the evening, is there any other questions?
For me, no. Thank you so much. I reach you for more information and take a course. I'm learning. It's my first time here. And thank you so much and appreciate your time.
Thank you. Yes, I look forward to seeing from you. And the website has so much information on biomagnetism. So if you have any questions, just email me, okay?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, lady.
Any other questions? We're good. Yes, I will send out, Karen, I'm going to send out an email with the recording. Probably maybe Saturday. But you'll be able to watch everything. Anything else? All right. Thank you all so much for spending this time with us tonight. I really appreciate all of you being here. Thank you, MacKenzie. Have a beautiful night. Bye.